And our guest has arrived. He is in the waiting room. Let's let him in. Bryn Renner. There he is. Hey, Bryn.
Well, I gotta unmute. What's up, guys? Ben, Zach, how we doing?
Good.
Good. How are
How are
you?
you?
Doing great. I like that background, Ben. I need to get that from you.
Oh man, yeah, I'll send it to you. Um, yeah, this picture was taken. Zach and I and my brother and Zach's wife and I think your father-in-law. We
Yeah,
were
that's right. My
all at
father-in-law.
the. It was the Carolina Duke game when Chaz Surratt made the interception on. They tried
Hmm.
to pop pass on the goal line. So I'm sure you were watching
Yeah.
that game.
Man, I love that. It was like Duke was going to score and Chaz picked it off. And I was like, man, my emotions flipped within 30 seconds because it was like, oh man, we're gonna lose the game. And then Chaz makes that play. That was incredible. And
Oh,
Zach, is when is yours from?
Yeah, mine is from the San Diego State game.
Ah, I
Yeah,
gotcha. That is
yeah,
nice.
yeah. When we
Yeah.
so
had the stripe out, so I think I graduated 2016. So you were a little ahead of me. We overlapped a little bit, uh,
Yeah.
but yeah. I think this was
Nice.
the San Diego State game, and
Hmm.
Tim Scott had the pick in the end zone to seal it.
Yep. I remember that one. Yeah, that was like the left side of the end zone where the away tunnel is.
Yeah.
Brian
Yep.
Walker,
I
Brian
played.
Walker had a pick six that game too.
Yeah, the like 100-yard pick six return. And Tim Scott,
Yeah.
I played against Tim Scott in high school. So that was pretty fun to be
Yeah.
both of us from Virginia and to see him get that pick to seal it off. That was pretty exciting.
Look at us,
Yes.
two Virginians on this call tonight.
Yeah, we got some Virginia ties, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm actually based out of Charlottesville. So I
Okay.
uh, I was born and raised a Tar Heel. My dad and my wife's dad were both at Carolina when Michael Jordan was there. So
Wow.
I was brainwashed from the womb, but born and raised in Charlottesville, have been surrounded. I'm like the Grinch, I'm like the Grinch, surrounded by all the little who's in Whoville. Yeah,
Yeah, at
crazy.
least you're
They
not
drive me
surrounded
freaking
by
crazy.
Hokies. At least you're not surrounded by Hokies. It could be worse.
True,
Oh man.
true.
Well, Brad, welcome to the podcast and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We really
Yeah.
appreciate you giving us some of your time and yeah, man, I know this close to a holiday, so that really means a lot. And I know you got a big game to get ready for this weekend. So
Or fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not calling the game this weekend. Um, I chose to look. Me and NC. This is how bad I hate state. I don't know if you guys saw it online, but I made a huge stink about it. But yeah, I can't go to Carter Finley. I just can't do it. They were
I
trying to
can't
get
do
me
it
to
either.
go. I was like, I just,
you'd
it's
have
not
to
going to
hold your
end.
breath the whole game.
I know. I just couldn't. They would instigate me, and then it would not be good for my mental and physical health.
Jones would have to hold you back.
That's
Brent,
right, and that's what he said. He's like, I don't want Bryn to go to jail, and I was like, yeah, I don't want Bryn to go to jail either.
oh
I think
boy.
we're good.
Oh man. Oh geez.
Yeah. So.
Wow, you could start a prison league. No, I'm kidding. So Brent, on a not so serious note, how do the renters do their turkey on Thanksgiving? Do you deep fry it? Do you put it in the oven? Do you smoke it? What do y'all do, man? Or do y'all even have turkey?
We're kind of old school. I'll tell you a good story that we could talk about is every Thanksgiving. So the players, when we were usually playing state at this time, the players would all come to my house or my parents' house, and so which was really cool. Which are memories that you kind of you miss, right? So like one year it was all my roommates came over because you usually have practice on that Thursday. So you have a practice in the morning, and then you have like a 4 or 5, maybe a 6 hour window where then you have to come back and go to the team hotel for Friday and Saturday. So you really don't have a Thanksgiving, but it's really cool when people invite you over. And so my parents moved to Chapel Hill in 2010 because I was playing football and baseball at the time. And so there was some guys that we were like, I was like, hey, because the coaches always offered to go to their coach's house, and you want to kind of get away a little bit, and so I was like, Mom, we're gonna have like 20 to 25 people come over. Is that all right? And she's like, oh my gosh, really? Like this would be so much fun. So it kind of became that tradition where most of my teammates came to our house. So that was really cool. But for this year, I'm at my fiance's house, so we're kind of hanging out here and doing it. But guys, being a dumb football player, they don't want me in the kitchen. So like I'm like I stay
You're
away
there to
from
eat,
all
right?
things. I'm just there to eat.
That's right. That's
Eat and
right.
watch,
That's
eat, watch, and talk football. That's it.
Bryn, my wife has a degree, has a master's from UNC in Southern food history. They offer that at
Wow.
Carolina. And so my job is to compliment her as she cooks, and I just eat. It's awesome.
See, that is a smart man right there. Like that's what I do. I'm like, you guys are better than this than me. I could try, it's gonna be awful, but like I'd rather let the pros do it. They don't come on the football field and help me. So like, it's just one of those things.
So, hey, let's get into some serious football talk.
Sure.
We got a few questions. Brandon, you really enjoyed a successful career at Carolina. Spent a few years in the NFL. Joined Coach Davis on his staff at FIU, which I'm sure was a cool experience. And now you've taken your talents and knowledge of the game to the broadcast booth. You're part of the Tar Heel Sports Network as a radio analyst. How has your experience as a player, as a coach, prepared you for where you're at now as a radio analyst? And Zach threw in a bonus. What are you most proud of?
Yeah, it's great questions, and it's honestly been the coolest journey ever. If you would have told me as a kid, growing up, just being a ball boy for my dad, who was a high school football coach for 40 years, I get a chance to play for him, and then go to Carolina, and it's just a huge blessing. I think my only goal in life, honestly, was just to get good enough to be a college quarterback, and then to have the career I had after, and to bounce around the NFL teams. And I tell people this all the time. I feel like I got my PhD in how to be a professional, in any facet of work. And I'm just so grateful and so blessed with the relationships that I've had, and the experience in football. And then going on to coach with Coach Davis was a dream as well. I mean, he recruited me when I was 18, and I got cut from my last team, which was the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it was a dark day. It was like my fifth team, and
Oh,
that's when the Canadian League calls you, and you're like, ah, man, do I want to go to Canada? And I remember calling my dad, and I was like, you know what, man, I think, I played in the last preseason game, and did pretty well, and ended up still getting cut, and I'm like, man, my body hurts. I'm just kind of like, where am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And ended up, Coach Davis got the job in November, and he called me, and he's like, do you want to come to coach with me? And I'm like, man, it felt like I was getting recruited all over again. So it was a really cool experience to be with him for 5 years. And we built up FIU to a really good program at the time, and set some records there. And guys, I really thought I was going to coach for 30 years. I really did. It was kind of in my blood. And at the time we went 1-11, and I was looking for a job, and I could have gone to the NFL with TJ, and he offered me a job there, and the Buffalo Bills as a quality control. And I just wanted to take a step back. And so I think that was the time in my life where I was just like, man, 30 years of football, which I still love. And obviously, and to answer your question, I found a passion with the broadcasting. And I really do. I enjoy, there's been opportunities where I could do it at a higher level, and I just love watching Carolina. It's like one of those things where if I only want to watch one team. I'm sorry, like that's in my
I
blood. It's
agree.
like I only want to pull for one. Like I don't like, no offense, I don't want to go to a Thursday night and do a Central Michigan Eastern Michigan game. Like I don't have that in me. I want to do Carolina versus State, or I like want to do Carolina versus Duke. I want to watch Carolina. Like you just have those. It's the only team I want to cover, and so it's been a great experience. I'm so blessed, and I'm just really fortunate, and working alongside Jones Angel, I can't say enough about how good he is, and we're so blessed to have that guy. I mean, his ability to do basketball and football, and to remember all those names, and do the cue cards is like, I'm sitting there as a fan, and I'm like, Jones, I'm just a huge fan of yours. And like
Yeah,
it's incredible how he remembers all those names. And guys, it's been a great journey for me, and I'm so blessed to have the Carolina family, and get to still do stuff like this.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. I totally agree, Brent. People like, I love the game of football. I love sports, but ultimately I'm like, I'm a Carolina football fan. Like, I do not care to
Yeah,
watch even the big games, even the big games on TV that everybody else is watching. I'm like, who cares? Tar Heels aren't playing. You
that's
know?
right. That's right.
Yeah, he'll call me during the week of like a bye week. He's like, "Man, I just wish Carolina was playing this
Even
week."
even
That's
even a
it.
season even a season like this, I'm like, man, I just wish the Tar Heels were playing.
It is. I know. I only want to watch them. I wish they were on every night. Like even now it's basketball, so I watched St. Bonnie's last night, but it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when you only have one affiliation for a team, it's like you know you're so up into it, and like I'll sit there for 4 quarters and be so invested, and then I'll watch another game and I'll be like, oh, I forget what the score is, or something like that, or
Yep.
and so it's really cool to have that experience, and for me, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Brent, I got a question for you. You mentioned sort of that feeling of being recruited, recruited by Coach Davis and doing it with the coaching. And so I just want to talk about the recruiting. There's a lot of talk about recruiting constantly. And here, as we sort of quickly approach signing day this coming week, at least the early signing day, which is the true signing day now, and then
Yeah.
the portal and all that, you know, a lot of kids are highly recruited and then don't pan out for whatever reason, right? You were highly recruited and you had tremendous success. I guess, can you sort of speak to like why you chose Carolina and then what enabled you to continue to develop when, some kids make it and some kids don't?
Yeah, of course. It's a great question. I love when this question gets asked, and I was very fortunate to have a really good support system around me. So when I was getting recruited, Coach Davis was there, and it was his second recruiting cycle. So really, it was his first time to actually have a full year of seeing how the team was, and pretend like Coach Belichick just went through this year, and then he's coming around to the next February. So that was my recruiting class, and I remember, look, guys, I played receiver for my first 2 years, so like I didn't have much quarterback film. I only had 1 year, and I started taking my visits, and actually went to Duke first and saw Coach Cutcliffe, and then I went to Carolina, and guys, I stepped on campus and it was like electric. And I really say this. It was like you get your first girlfriend. It like felt like the same thing. Like you felt like, hey, this is like the place I want to go. Like this is who I want to be with, and the people I want to be with. And it was really special. And I remember it was a spring practice, and I was with my parents, and we took a good long hard look around the schools, um, and it was just such an exciting time. And I remember my mom being like, now we have a ton of schools to go to. Are you sure this is it? I'm like, Mom, this is it. I want to change the program. And I think, I really didn't think about it at the time because you're 18. Like I was 18. I didn't really know what change the program means. And so I just knew there was the people were great. It was an atmosphere that I really enjoyed, and Coach Davis was on the precipice of something really special. And John Shoup was a big focal point for that. And I'll give Coach Shoup credit. I wanted to go somewhere where I could develop mentally, and get ready for the NFL. And at the time, John Shoup was at the time he was the youngest offensive coordinator ever in the NFL at 32 years old, and he came, had some different stops along the way, but came back to do college. And I remember just sitting there, and I was like, man, this guy's a sponge full of knowledge, and I want to be around him. And it was the best thing for my journey. I wouldn't have been able to play in the NFL at all if I didn't learn how a pro needed to prepare. And so we hit it off, and he is just a phenomenal football coach. And I went because of the people, and I left saying this place is incredible. And I said this, on LinkedIn. They did a like kind of article about me doing the broadcasting. And it was a 4 year decision, and it ended up being a 40-year lifetime
Hmm.
decision where you can build relationships like I'm with you guys tonight. And it's really really special, and the place is incredible. Um, and it's just a joy to be a Tar Heel. Um, and to answer the second part of your question, I know I'm getting long winded, but this
That's
topic is
great.
really
That's great. Keep going.
this topic's really special to me. It's really special to me. Look, guys, my journey was different. I was a heavily recruited kid, and um, never really sat the bench in my life. And for 2 years, I sat behind TJ Yates, and we ended up becoming best friends and roommates at the time. And so you're battling it out, and you're kind of not seeing the progress, and you want to start, and you have all these frustrations inside of you, but never once did it cross my mind to transfer.
Hmm.
Never once did it cross my mind to quit. Never once did it cross my mind to get better and compete with somebody that I had the utmost respect for. I mean, heck, we wanted to tear each other's head off. We're playing Wii golf, and we're competing at that because we're in a heavy quarterback competition. But he made me so much better because he saw me studying, he studied. I saw him studying, he studied, and then we just ended up being like, "Hey, man, let's just do this together and let's help each other." And that was the 2 years of my life that was my favorite time of being a Tar Heel, because I got better and I saw progress. I gained weight in the weight room. I did everything I needed to do to get ready to play. And I firmly believe God was telling me, hey, man, you're not ready because you're not big enough. You're not strong enough. I was 185 pounds coming into college playing baseball. I started at first base. I started in baseball before I started in football, which is crazy. And I learned so much in those 2 years of growth, and I recommend that to every single athlete because you need to get physically and mentally and spiritually and like socially prepared to go play college football, especially nowadays because they're going to expect so much of you. Um, and I sat, and I was the best thing for me. I sat 2 years and then started the next three, which was an incredible experience. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, going through it was really tough, but nowadays people don't want to strain and people don't want grit. They want the satisfaction. Well, that's not how the real life works. That's not how God works either. Like he's not going to give it to you. He's going to want to see you persevere. And I hate when I see kids transfer because in those 2 years of growth, I use that still today of fighting and kind of, hey, it didn't go my way. I got to get better. Hey, what can I work on, Coach Shoup? What can I work on, Coach Davis? Is it my time yet? And then when your time comes, you're actually prepared for those moments. And it was so much fun going through that process. I love reliving it. But what disappoints me is like we're going to have kids that leave the program that never get a chance to stick it out. Because, and I also say this because I'm going to put my coaching hat on now. If you stay and everyone leaves, doesn't that open up a roster spot? So think about
Yeah.
that. If you just stick it out, right? Like I always tell people, well, coach, I want to transfer. Like I had all these people come up to me, coach, I want to transfer. Well, where are you going? Did they recruit you when you're 18? Do they know everything about you?
Yeah.
Do they really like love you as a human being and like want to see you succeed? And if everyone else leaves because they have those thoughts, you might be the number one guy. So
Yeah.
like I got that from my dad because he was coaching people and he's like, I heard it on the phone talking to somebody. And he's like, man, if you just stick it out and grind it out and show them you're progressing and people believe in front of you, you might be the starter. And I
Yeah.
always say, like, last thing I'll say is, I always say it might be better to walk on at your favorite school because eventually you'll rise up to the top if you're good enough. And so, this is just my 2 cents, but the way of college football and look, I saw, one of the questions it was, you want to get back in coaching? Heck yeah, I would love to like be back in coaching, but not the way the landscape is now,
Mm,
because you can't really develop a young man.
Yeah.
man,
I,
oh gosh. Brandon, it sounds like you and I had similar experiences on our official visits. I can. Mine was official. Mine
you're
was
hilarious.
Hey,
You're hilarious,
Anthony Stewart.
bro.
I always do, man. I always
Uh,
go to North Carolina. It
real,
was
real,
my blood.
real
Uh,
quick here, real quick, Ben, before you ask the next question, I was just say, Bryn, I really appreciate your answer because as a fan, like as you know, as fans that
sorry, it froze.
did not act. What was that?
did we lose him?
Am I frozen or is he frozen?
I think Brent's frozen.
Uh
That's okay.
oh, he's back.
Sorry.
He's
All right,
back.
we're back. We're back.
You're
Sorry,
good.
we
You're good. You're
froze.
good.
All right, good. We're back. Let's do it.
Good. I was gonna say, as a fan who did not get to go on these fun official visits, especially as Tar Heels, I think, I remember, being a fan of the team even before getting to school. Like I said, you were there a little bit before me, and like appreciating your development, like as a fan and as a fellow student, and the people like you think about Trubisky,
Hmm.
and his 1 year, or basketball, right? The Luke Mays of the world that we fall in love with because they develop and they stay, and you just
Yeah.
fall in love. The RJ Davises of the world because they
Hmm.
stay all 4 years, right? It's really plaguing college sports, and as a fan, it's been very challenging. And I love your answer because it's exactly right. And from a fan, I don't know if the players ever think about this. I don't know if you can speak to this, but from the players' perspective, do they ever understand like the fans love them when they stay and what that means to the culture and the brand?
Yeah, it drives me nuts when people leave, man, because they don't get to have relationships like this. Like, guys, I thoroughly enjoy hanging with you guys. I enjoy going to the stadium every single day because those people and guys like yourselves, like we crossed paths going through the pit, and you saw me when I was a dummy 18-year-old kid. Now you get to see me as a 35-year-old man and being like, I love this place because the place and the experience, it's like you can't really describe it, but once you graduate, you feel the love of the Carolina family.
Mhm.
And because you guys saw me when I was 18, man. And you guys saw me, go through the injuries and persevere and that's passion. That's what I don't know.
Hmm.
When people leave, I have such a hard time.
Yeah.
And because I'm like, where are you going to go that you're going to get this type of love? Like, I'm
Yeah.
serious. And I've been around a lot of college campuses and things like that. There's just nothing like Chapel Hill. And to your point, is like fans. Like I take Caleb Wilson for example. Like I love that kid. Like I
Yeah.
love watching him play. I love his energy. He loves Carolina. I love kids like that. And it's tough to like, the Drake Mays of the world. That guy stayed and picked us. And the
Hmm.
Sam Howells of the world. Like the guy stayed and picked us. And you're a people's champ for forever.
Yeah.
And I think that's the coolest thing. And people don't realize once you stick it out with Carolina, like there's nowhere you're gonna go that's gonna have that type of experience. So it's a
Yeah.
great point.
The Carolina family is just different. I agree. Brent, I want to be cognizant of your time and respect that. So
We got plenty of time. All the cooking's done. I told you all the cooking's done.
oh
Oh,
man.
that's
Okay.
awesome.
Well, you're very kind and generous to be on the call and give us so much of your time. So thank you. So after the weight game, by the way, man, I got two losses that night. I don't know if you listened to our last episode, but food poisoning from the Demon Dogs that night. So, dude,
Man,
it was
dude.
brutal. It was brutal. My dad took me to the game for my birthday, so we were so excited. And then we watched well, I'm not going to even talk about the product.
Yeah, we know what happened.
Shout out Reese Verhoff. Uh, but yeah. So Zach gave me the rundown of your post game breakdown.
I loved your
Mhm.
rant post game. I was getting so fired
Sorry,
up.
man. Oh man, I was losing it.
So
I'm sorry.
so he
Sometimes I get going.
no man, Zach and I get fired up and we just keep feeding, throwing gas on the fire. So yeah, so you were pretty fired up, and you were talking about how we need to create a culture that takes opponents and rivalries more seriously, and that's been an issue for Carolina across the board in all sorts of sports for a
Mhm.
while now. So if you can find the remedy that cures, I mean, good grief, they might send you to I don't know, work for the CDC or something. But um, so as a former player and leader at Carolina, how do you do that? What does this game against State mean to you? I mean, I can already tell it means something if you don't want to go to Carter Finley on Saturday to be in the big. And could you please share some of your highlights from competing in this rivalry, playing against the Wolfpack, and what it was like? I mean, I remember watching the All Access of the 2012 game that Go Heels put out, and just watching that game myself. And then Zach was at that game, but
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Bryn, I have to tell you, I told all of my
real
friends
quick,
I would tell you this.
real quick,
Oh man,
what would a win over NC State on Saturday mean for this program at this point moving forward? I know I just gave a Tommy Ashley paragraph style question.
I'll
I love Tommy Ashley. I think he's awesome, but
Yeah.
yeah,
let you answer, and then I got to give you my fun fact at the end.
No, I need a fun fact to start.
Okay,
Let's
okay,
do
okay,
that.
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. This
The
is
fun
good.
fact was I was the student in the front row that Gio jumped into my arms when he ran the punt back.
Let's
So
go. That's
I if
awesome.
you watch the clip, I had the light blue shirt, hat backwards, and Gio comes right up to me. He was crying, I was crying. It was my freshman
This is
year.
awesome, man.
So I
I
had to
got
tell you, I told the
goosebumps.
boys I would tell you that. So
I got goosebumps. That's so cool. I love that. I love that. You got to screenshot that and send it to me for
oh yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Zach
definitely will.
also proposed to his wife at Keenan Stadium.
Yeah,
So
I proposed to my wife right there in that spot at Keenan Stadium.
Let's go, Zach. Dude, man, I love you, man. This is freaking awesome. This is awesome. I love this. Um, yeah, so wow, man, I just got goosebumps. I'm just thinking about Gio running
you
down
got
the
any
sideline,
eligibility left,
man.
man?
I tell you guys, if I could go out there, well, here's what I can guarantee you. I know we would win. If I would be in a
I
if I
love
had
it,
to be in a wheelchair for the next 2 years, and you said, "Hey, you got to be in the wheelchair for the next 2 years," but you get to beat state, I'd do it. That's how
bro.
much
I'll
I
give you
care.
both my
I
knees.
love that. I love how to, so yeah, Brent, how do we create that culture in the rest of the team? Like Ben was asking.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think you know, look, I think I'm old enough and I've been around enough to make some of these comments that I will say, and I'm not being overly critical. I just kind of see it as what needs to change, and I think just being a former quarterback and a leader. I'm just doing exactly what I see and what I would do. So I'm telling people what I would do and what I did. And look, we did not beat NC State for 5 years, and when I was there, and so we lost in. I was a starter in 2011. We went there. I got a concussion. It was
Mm,
Carter Finley. It was not my best game.
I
Um,
remember. Yeah.
left early, and they were hitting me, and it was like, man, welcome to the rivalry, and
Mm,
that pissed me off. Like I'm
yeah.
still pissed to this day. Like I that's and so from that point forward, I was like, never again, man. So we beat them the next 2 years, and so it was an experience that you really can't tell anybody until you're in it. And you guys know as fans um, how deep it is and how entrenched you are in it. And I think what something that struck me um, is we have 61 players that are not from the state of North Carolina.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
the, that's ridiculous and disappointing to me. And excuse me, I was blessed to have a lot of guys in the locker room that told me how big this rivalry was. They were from Raleigh. They were Carolina fans through and
Yeah.
through growing up as kids, and their only dream school was Carolina. Like that's the only place they wanted to go. So when you're in the locker room with a bunch of those guys that are from the state, you turn into a madman about the rivalry. You turn into, this is the only thing that matters. And we used to have guys stand up the night before the game and talk about how passionate and how bad they wanted to kick their butts. And when I was watching the Wake game, I felt like a part of my soul was just going away because it
Mm,
was like I feel like we're getting punked here. We don't understand what this means. We don't understand like you're in the state of North Carolina. We dominate. The interlocking NC is we're the only school that has the NC inside like as its main logo. Like that means a lot to me, guys. Like that is something that I used to tell our players and tell my teammates, hey man, like this means different. Like this is a lot. Because if you think about this, like we have a rivalry with Duke in basketball. The football one's okay, like the Bell's great, but then we're the only school that has another rivalry with State. So like you really have like the basketball team has Duke, the football team has State, and like there's so many things going on, but they want a piece of us. And so I just it's like a high school feel, and it's kind of the last couple of years have been puzzling because I feel like we have gotten punked, and
Mm.
I don't like that. And I think when you have 4 quarters and you understand how much it means to somebody else, especially your opponent, it drives you. It drives you in the offseason. It drives you like it motivates me. Like when I said those comments about NC State, you should see my Twitter right now, and I'm motivated. I will go play right now. So they didn't have
mm.
they didn't have to do anything. Like
That's
I'm already
hilarious.
ready. So let's go to
Brent,
work. Let's go play. So I think from a leadership standpoint, we have to identify that this is an issue within our program that
yeah.
we have to understand how much it means. And I'm talking about from fans to players to coaches to alumni. We have to be supportive and we have to go into this mindset where we're not losing to them. And we're talking about it in January, not just when the game comes. And we're making sure every recruit understands your sole job is to beat these teams within your state. And so, look, I'd come out the broadcast booth. If they told me right now I can go play, I'd drive there right now. And I'd sit in the stadium. We better be ready to go, boys.
Mm.
They might. You've got G League NBA players going back to college to play college basketball now.
I saw that. I saw that. It's wild.
Oh man.
Absolutely wild.
Speaking of NC State, Brent, I don't know if you watched the news this week, but their library burned down. Both books were destroyed, and one of them hadn't been colored in yet. I don't know if you'd heard about that. So
Are you being serious?
I'm just messing around.
Oh, man. I was going to make a funny comment. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, man,
I
that
said both
sucks.
books.
He said both books.
Both books were
Oh, both
destroyed,
books. I was like,
and one of them hadn't been colored in yet.
oh, I'm about to tweet that out tonight with all these people on my Twitter.
You're going to get in trouble.
I've been,
I,
I,
uh,
yeah, red for their necks, white for their underwear. No, I don't know.
That's hilarious. What was
oh,
I want to go
I've
back.
taken too far. I've got three of my groomsmen were state fans, but I took
Uh,
pride in making them wear Carolina blue ties. So
good.
that's
yeah.
hilarious.
Zach, did you have a question?
Well, I was just going to follow up with the original question you asked. Were there any particular moments? I know we sort of talked about Gio's punt return, but any particular moments from the rivalry game that stand out to you that you look back and you're like, man, that was an awesome moment. Any highlights?
Yeah, I mean, the Geo punt return, man, it was electric. That's the loudest I've ever heard Keenan.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah.
you got the hug and man, I got the tears. That was my roommate at the time. We were roommates together, and I remember it was his birthday, man, and like that was all culmination of just like his hard work and all of our entire program needed that play, and it was just him going down the sideline, Jones Angels call, and
Yeah.
just keep watching that. Like it's just it's iconic in Carolina history, and to be a little bit part of that was incredible. But I think a little bit about that game, and there's one more game that I want to talk about. I think how much it means was look, we had to come back in that game. We were down 14 points in the fourth quarter, and we had two scoring drives to tie it up. And it was one of the coolest back and forth games. And I remember it was like an overcast day, and like everybody was just into it, and we were making plays, and just being a part of the rivalry when it's back and forth. Like I remember, Mike Lennon is actually was he lived like 10 minutes away from me in Virginia.
Oh man.
And he beat me in high school when I was a junior and he was a senior. And so that was the first time we were going to start against each other. Was 2012, and we went back and forth, and like he threw for 350 and I threw for 350, and it was a microcosm of the region final game that we had
Oh.
my junior year, his senior year in high school,
Mm.
like literally the same game. And they ended up beating us in high school, and then we ended up beating them in college, which was like it was just unreal how crazy that is, and we still talk about it to this day. And one more memory. That was my last game as a Carolina Tar Heel. Was the game we played in 2013. So I take off up the middle. I slide and I got late hit, and
Mm.
I tore my labrum and fractured my scapula, and that was like the last game I played. So they
Yeah.
basically told me I was done. I was, hey, look, you can't get your shoulder back in, and I was like, no, I'm not done. I'm going back in. So it's the fourth quarter. We're trying to ice the game. We're up by I think it's like almost two scores, so we just need a first down. And I told him I can go back in. I take my last snap, throw it to TJ Thorpe, 6 yard completion, jog off the field, and that's the last thing I ever did. And so that's how much it meant to me. Like my career was over. Like I knew I had to get surgery the next day. Like they basically told me, "Hey man, like you can't do any more damage, but can you throw?" And I was like, "I mean, shoot, I'll cut off my arm. I'll do it. I don't care." And basically, it basically was. I was like, "If it's gonna get cut on tomorrow, I might as well just do it now." Like called the snap, threw it to him, and I remember jogging off the field and to see that sea of red to walk out. That's
It
all I
was
cared
awesome.
about. Like I can still like even when you put me in my grave, I could just see those people walking out and pissing them off. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That was worth it. Like to go in with no shoulder, like I'm good. And the crazy thing is, and I do respect them for one thing. When I got hurt, they cheered. And that's when you're part of the rivalry. Cause I was like, good. At least I was a good enough player to remember me, dude. Like you got it.
That's
So
awesome.
I got a lot of respect, boys, but
Oh
I
yeah.
got some scars that I want to get back. So we'll get
Dude.
them. We'll get them one day.
Yeah, as a former Tar Heel player, what are the most important areas improvement for of improvement for this team in the off season? Obviously, I know the NIL and the portal. There's going to be a lot going on there, and we don't know who's leaving or staying or that sort of thing. But what do you scout for in those areas in terms of like areas of improvement from your perspective? Why do you think Carolina fans should be hopeful for the future, especially after a really what's been a disappointing season that's failed to meet expectations?
Yeah, I think to answer your last question first, I think the optimism comes because you believe in the kids.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's the biggest thing is like you guys probably supported me through the good and the bad.
Mhm.
And I think I want to return the favor. And I think that's the biggest thing is like what's great about this fan base is that they're with you. And I think that's we're going to be with whoever's playing on Saturday. And I think
Hmm.
that's the coolest thing that I can say is I want to be one of the supporters, not the negative
Yeah.
guys. I
There's a
think it,
negativity out there.
yeah, and I think it's kind of tough to have that balance because you care so much. And I said this like, I have a niece and a nephew. I don't have kids, but it's like I know as being like a son to my dad, he was more of like disappointed when I didn't play well. It wasn't like he wasn't going to stop being my dad. It was just like, hey man, I'm just disappointed we didn't give our best. And
Hmm.
that's kind of how I saw this season is like, man, we had more in the tank. Like, is it the best we can do, and things like that. So I think I'm never going to stop supporting the team. I think it's always going to be how can we get better and how can we improve, and I think this is going to be a critical year for us to do that.
Yeah,
Um, Ways that we can improve that I saw is obviously, I, I think I think having an offensive identity is a big thing that we need to kind of improve on. Um, I don't think it's even about personnel decisions. I think we need to understand who we want to be as a program offensively, and I think that starts at the quarterback position. I think it starts at other spots, and we can improve. And I think one thing I always say is, like, I'm not there every single day. I wish I was. I wish I was in the building, but I'm not. And so those guys get paid enough money to do their job. And if they're not doing their job, then we're gonna find somebody else. So um, and I've been in this profession long enough to know that. And I think one thing that is hopeful is I know there's going to be things that look, the off season is going to be critical, right? It's going to be transfer portal recruits, and obviously we're doing a good job on the recruiting trail right now,
yeah,
um, which is great. And I think one thing I did say is I think it's a blessing in disguise we didn't have a bowl game, because now we can just totally focus on how can we improve the roster, how can we improve every single area that we weren't very efficient in this year. So I think we're going to do it, and I got hope, and so I think year one's always tough when you inherit a program, but obviously you want to see the strides.
Zach, I think you had a good question about NIL and the portal.
Yeah, I was just curious, Bryn, your thoughts on, we've got teams like Indiana and Vanderbilt that just have sort of out of nowhere decided like it's time to invest in football. And
Hmm.
I think that was really promising about our school, right? We've decided, it's been my dream since I was a little kid that we would be a football school, just because
Me too.
living in Virginia, my dad took me. We had season tickets, and I grew up going to Keenan every weekend. And basketball I watched on TV, but football games I was in the stadium. It's just a different atmosphere, and I would love nothing more than to be a football school. But you've got these other universities that are having success because they've really invested, and their success is pretty immediate. And unfortunately for us, it's been a little bit slower. I know we were a little behind in the hiring cycle last year. Maybe that's a reason, but I would just love to know your thoughts on, do you see a reason for why we've been a little bit slower? And is there a way that our program can build sustainable success moving forward with this off season?
Yeah, it's such a great question. And I trust me, I write notes down every single game. And I think that's what kind of is my therapeutic release, because I want us to be so good at football. I want this to be like, I really want this to be the best football and basketball school in the country, because I know it can be.
Mhm.
And I think it's going to take a little bit of time, and I think we all have to have a little bit of patience, myself included. Um, but to answer your question, and looking at the landscape of NIL, there's one thing that I, as a coach, and I, as a leader, and even when I played, that when I was in a locker room with those guys, is you have to have a leader at the quarterback position
Mm.
that understands his role and his responsibilities to bring others with him and to lead and be in charge of a program. Um, if you look at Indiana, if you look at Vanderbilt, if you look at people that have portal success and have made transformations overnight, it's been one position,
Yeah.
that quarterback. Fernando Mendoza, Diego Pavia, those guys are catalysts, and they're leaders, and they've bought in, and they've rallied a team around them. I've always said the best teams that I've been on have been player led. The coach didn't have to say anything, and we were going to do the coaching, and they would give us the scheme, we would execute the scheme, and then we would hold everyone accountable if they didn't do their job. Not the coaches. The coaches were there to give you the blueprint and the game plan, but there has to be continuity. And I'm like, the word that drives me crazy is culture. Like, it's an overused phrase. Well, the culture comes from who you bring in,
Mhm.
right? So, like, you get to go choose and handpick those guys. Oh, well, we have to have a culture. Well, isn't your job as a leader to create that culture and have basically lieutenants underneath to say,
Yeah,
hey, look, this is exactly what we believe in. I don't care if you're my best friend. If you come in here and eat McDonald's, you better get the heck out, because that's not what we do here. or
Hmm.
if you keep making mistakes, the biggest form of pressure is peer pressure. And when I was a leader, it was accountability to do your job, to show up on time and do what you're asked to do. But that's got to come from the players. And the coach has to set that standard. And I think if you look at the teams that are having success, the coach's message is being preached by the players. And everyone is, and look, the culture is what the players build, and the players ultimately have to be the ones to make plays, but that starts with the head coach. And I think that's when you see teams have success. Like, I love watching Notre Dame. I love watching Marcus Freeman coach. I love watching Dan Lanning's videos about Oregon because he's teaching core principles. Like, I still get on my YouTube feeds of Saban talking about culture, Kirby Smart talking about culture. Like, yeah, that's the culture that they're creating, and you look at the success they're having. And I think that's where it starts for me is like, you got to have leaders that really believe and can hold people accountable and have tough
Yeah.
conversations. And I think
Yeah.
we have to have that. I really do. And I do think, and I'm being very honest and probably really critical, we're missing that piece. We are
Yeah, I don't
missing,
think I don't
it's not there.
You're not
I
wrong.
So,
don't I don't think you're stating something that we also don't agree with.
You're not
yeah, and
wrong, man.
I would tell somebody if they ask me, let's look. The one thing I can't do is lie. So, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we're missing
Yeah.
that piece. There's a
Yeah.
focal. There's a Drake May. There's a Sam Howell. There's those guys that kept the culture alive, and they were the culture. And they went. We went as they went, and that's why it was fun watching teams. That's why I like watching really good football teams because we all pay hard-earned money to see somebody's best effort, and that's
Yeah.
all we're asking. So.
And
Yeah.
a coach shouldn't have to teach or have like energy, effort, and toughness shouldn't have to be something that you have to coach. As an athlete, that should be something that's inside you. Uh, just the basic pride to be out there, to want to compete, to want to be your best out there. Because
Yeah,
pride as an athlete.
Yeah.
it should. And just to piggyback on that, because I'm now getting fired up because I love this conversation. It's my favorite thing to talk about because look, I don't care that you can have all the talent in the world, but you're gonna be a terrible leader.
Yeah,
Like, and then nobody wants to follow you and you're a jerk. And
yeah,
you won't win. You won't win. And I think the biggest thing as a quarterback or anybody of leadership role, it's not just saying the quarterback, you got to understand that people are following you, and
mhm,
people like I'll never forget, like they said, being a quarterback or being a leader was a 24/7 365 job. It is. And people are watching, and when it's very evident when you have a good one. And that's why I think the NIL success is very dependent on who you bring in
mhm.
into your locker room.
Yeah, that's a great point. And Brent, I've been saying the past couple of weeks, I don't know if you would agree with this, but to your point about the talent versus leadership, give me a team full of Jordan Ships and Will Hardys. And like I will be in Keenan every Saturday to cheer on a
Hmm.
team full of Jordan Ships and Will Hardys. Like,
That's it.
give me some dogs that play for the pride of the state and the university and hold their teammates accountable. I love Jordan Ships post game comments the past few weeks, just his accountability. And if there's anybody that needs some NIL, let's throw him the bag because I want him to stay in a Carolina
Agreed.
uniform.
What
I'm the
did the
same way.
old Coastal Carolina coach say? He's like, "We got too many cats. We need more dogs."
That's right.
Yeah,
Man, I want dudes that are gonna freaking get after it, and like that's what we all want to watch is 4 quarters of nonstop come at you and go play ball. And so,
yeah, yeah, man. You've been so great today, Bryn. We really enjoyed our time with you. Is there anything else that Carolina football wise that we didn't cover that you want to talk about? Anything that I know you're fired up right now, but
yeah,
I love it.
over here. Anything else you want to add?
yeah, yeah. I think just appreciation for you guys and the fan base. I don't know, you know, how I got so lucky to be connected with so many people, but the fans of Carolina have been so gracious to myself and my family,
Mhm.
and these relationships that you have, look, if you were told me at 35 I'd be doing the radio and having this opportunity, I would have been just ecstatic, and it's like I'm living my dream to still be a part of and have great conversations with you guys, and the fan base is just so special, and I want everyone that is getting recruited or thinking about North Carolina transfer portal, or even still there, or thinking about leaving, you're an idiot if you leave. And you can build relationships that last for forever. And that's more than winning games. That's more than any type of money that you're going to make. It really is, and I think that's what's been so special, is to connect with the fan base, and how powerful this that interlocking NC, and how much it means to me, and how appreciative I am for you guys. And look, you guys are the most loyal fan base, and especially you guys just supporting the players nonstop, through good and bad. So I've learned that the last probably what 12 years I've been gone, more than that. It's just you, every day you realize how special that place is.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting that you say that because as a kid, so I'm fourth generation Carolina grad. Just my dad, like I think about him and his closest friends over the years, were from his time at UNC, it seems. And like,
Hmm.
I mean, one of them's the closest thing I have to an uncle, and so and he's one of the main reasons why, along with my dad, why I grew up cheering for the Heels. I mean, we lived in different states, kind of far away, but we watched Carolina, and then like that's why I always wanted to go to Carolina to have those sorts of friendships, and then God blessed me with a great group of roommates and then classmates at UNC, and like those guys are some of the closest friendships that I still have, and we have a text thread that's been going on over a decade, and uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's just something special about Carolina that separates itself from other college experiences. So,
Yeah, likewise,
you act like
likewise.
you're an idiot if you leave.
Yeah, yeah. I've got season tickets with two guys that I'm really close with from my time at Carolina, and between the three of us we have 8 children now, and
Wow.
I've got four of them. Humble brag, I've got four of them. So,
Wow.
uh,
You
That's
but
guys a
yeah,
awesome.
lot,
Bryn,
man.
Bryn, I have 4 daughters. So,
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
Zach.
this is how I cut loose. But hey,
Oh my
my
gosh.
girls, God bless them. They're what it's all about. I take them to the game, win or lose. They're walking out of the stadiums doing the Tar Heels chant, and I'm like, "You're killing me," you know. But
It's
it's
like
just
salt on a wound a little bit.
it's really special to be able to go to the games with those guys and relive those days of being in dorm rooms and being on campus with them. But now we get to bring our little ones. We all have, yeah, all of our 8 are 5 and under. So it's
Wow.
It's
it's a
wild, man.
blast. It's wild. Shout
Dude,
out
you gotta
section
get to
120. It's pretty lit in
I
section
dude,
120.
I'm gonna come to section 120, because I'm like, hey, you guys need zone coverage. Like, you gotta do basketball like 2-on-3. You guys gotta get some
Yeah,
zone coverage in there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Bryn,
I
we
feel like
call we call
half of
section
them.
we call section 120 the no fly zone. No fly zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely
two
the
of them.
no-fly zone.
Hannah had two
Wow,
at
that's
home, and you
awesome.
had two with you this
What
year.
was that? What was that, Ben?
Hannah had two at home, and you had two with you this year, I think.
Yeah, I try. Well, there was a couple games we took the whole family. UVA game, we had all 6 of us at the game.
Wow.
So
Man.
it's
Dang. Oh man.
it's a blast.
Um,
It's a blast.
Bryn, non-serious note here. Top five Thanksgiving side dishes tomorrow. What are
Oh,
yours?
oh, baby. Here we go.
Yeah, yeah. Before we
Dude.
close it out, you got to give us what's on the dinner plate.
Okay. Mac and cheese, dude. I don't care. Anytime, mac and
Okay,
cheese.
okay.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. You can mix it all together. Green beans. I'm going sweet potato casserole.
Oh man. Yes.
And I will push that away from 4. That might bounce to 2, because that thing's lethal.
That's a
Yeah.
Um,
dessert, bro.
Do you go marshmallows on top? Do you
Marshmallows
do?
on top. Have to.
Okay, yeah. Good, good,
Got
good,
to.
good, good.
My fiance's mom made them last year, and they were freaking incredible. Like, I couldn't get enough of them.
Yeah.
And let's see. I'm done at 4, guys. Like, I really
you
kind of
you
shut
named
it
4 of
down.
my 5.
He's got to be
What's the
able to
fifth? What's the fifth?
I
play
just said
Saturday if they need him,
I
Zach.
said homemade biscuits and butter, man. Just like a
Oh,
homemade
dude,
roll.
yes. Okay, I'm putting that. I'm homemade roll. That's
Yeah.
perfect. All right, I got another thing. I don't want to see if I'm the only one. I like mixing all mine up too, and just like sticking the fork in, like all that
Yeah,
stuff just mixed in. Like,
yeah,
I might be a sicko, but I love tasting all at once.
bro. Yeah, no. That's a yeah.
I only mix the mashed potatoes and gravy and turkey. Everything else has got to be. I can't. I can't have the gravy. I
Ah,
can't have the gravy in the sweet potato casserole, right?
yeah,
Like,
that's what everyone's telling me. They're like, dude, you're a sicko. I'm like, man, it's good. I don't know. It's weird.
Do you do do you do the cranberry sauce or no?
I'm not a cranberry sauce guy.
And are you dressing or stuffing? What's
Oh, I'm dressing all day.
same.
I'm dripping it in dressing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And are you doing pumpkin or pecan pie or both?
Pumpkin pie.
first of all, it's pronounced pecan, but that's all right.
That's our Carolina education. Because
Got that
I've
educational.
always said pecan.
Yeah, yeah. That
That's
is.
that northeastern North Carolina, where my family's from.
Oh
Pecan.
God. Yeah. And so, put you on the spot. What is Bryn Renner thankful for this year?
Oh, I love
Man, it's been a great. That's man, you're getting all the good questions. Obviously, man. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is the best. He really has blessed me in so many ways. Very thankful for the life that I have and the friendships that I have, and so many people that have helped me along the way. And I just also think about like all the coaches. You're a knucklehead kid trying to get through life, and they take time out of your day. And I don't care what sport you coach. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, development of the youth, I think is such a value add to all the coaches that I had, where they taught me so many core values. And obviously my family, my sister's the dance team coach at Carolina, so
it.
like that's a cool thing. And we get to go to the games together, and my family gets to experience that. And she has two kids now, and just so thankful for everything in my life. And look, I'm a guy that shoot. God's done so much for me. I don't know if I could ever thank him enough. So this is a really good year, and he's a great one up there.
Wow.
Amen.
Well, praise the Lord. Zach, I think Zach auditioned for the dance team when he was at Carolina. Oh man.
Maybe if I was
Oh,
Bryn was talking about entering college at 185, I was like, dang man, I wish I was back to that weight. Four girls would do it to you, Bryn.
dude, four girls, and then this thing
Oh man.
that I'm
That'd be
gonna have.
awesome.
I wish I've won 85 since that day I entered.
I haven't seen 185 since the summer I've graduated from high school. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. Well, Bryn, I know we kept you a little long, so we really appreciate your time, man. God bless you and your family. Hope y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and hope you get to celebrate with a big Tar Heel win on Saturday.
Yeah, likewise, guys. I really appreciate it. And anytime you guys need me, I'm happy to jump on again. So appreciate you
Yeah,
guys
would
doing
love to have
this.
you back. Thank you so
Yeah.
Yeah,
much.
Take
awesome.
care, man. Have a great
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yep.
Happy
Yeah.
See you
Thanksgiving.
guys.
Yeah.
Go Heels.
Go
Go
Heels.
Heels.
Well, shout out to Bryn Renner for joining us, our very first guest.
That was awesome. That was electric.
That was
Yeah,
electric.
he got me fired up, man. Let's play right now. Let's put the
Dude,
hands in the dirt, spot the ball, like Lane Kiffin says.
I don't know if I could qualify academically right now, but
How are we going to continue on the rest of this episode?
dude, yeah, I mean, geez, we still got a lot to talk about.
Wow, he
Oh,
got me so fired up. That was
dude,
electric, dude.
that was, oh, man, you need a motivational